Hi everyone, so I'm at home, back from the clinic for a couple of hours, and I thought, you know what, it's about time that maybe you're struggling with a toddler or a young child, putting them to sleep. And I was thinking back of over a couple of the children that I've seen this week, and I want to tell you about something that I see that's really common when toddlers or young children aren't sleeping, and I call it the Toddler Triad. Triad being three parts to this mystery of a child not sleeping. And I say toddler, but it can be they can be a bit older. I've seen 6 or 7 year olds who are also not sleeping. So here's the Toddler Triad. Number one, they have probably had some kind of traumatic birth or delivery, and I'm an osteopath, a cranial osteopath, so I look quite specifically into this. So they may have had a forceps or ventous, or maybe a long labour with lots of contractions on the head. Usually they have some sort of head tension, and that puts them on edge. So think of the head as access into the baby's nervous system, and when their nervous system is switched on, then obviously they don't sleep. And now here's a couple of more things, and I just know when a toddler comes in or young child comes in that's not sleeping, that this applies to so many of them. Usually, often they have recurrent ear infections or tonsillitis, something like that, and this can come from some sort of food intolerance, usually milk. So often these toddlers that aren't sleeping are milk monsters. They absolutely love drinking milk. So I've had mums who line bottles of milk up through night. When the baby wakes up, bottle of milk, then they go back to sleep. Wake up an hour later, bottle of milk, back to sleep, and they go through the night just giving milk. Now, the mechanism for this is that they probably have some sort of intolerance to the dairy, which upsets their bowel a bit. And like I've said with the babies before, the toddlers can't sleep when they've got some sort of tummy problem. So do they have a tummy problem as well? Constipation or loose tummy, that kind of thing, but that can wake them up as well. And often the main culprit is dairy. Dairy is also a culprit for ear infections. So have they had recurrent ear infections? So traumatic birth, some sort of food intolerance, often dairy, and then antibiotic use. So I've seen a child this week, 15 antibiotics in its life. That's a lot of antibiotics. So ear infection, antibiotics, ear infection, antibiotics. So you get in that cycle. If you watch the other videos, you'll know that antibiotics knock out the gut bacteria, just like they do in adults when we get a upset tummy from antibiotics. Same thing for a child, but it can knock out the gut bacteria for quite a long time. And also, as I've mentioned before, gut and tummy issues equal kind of brain. Think of the gut, you know, this the gut is your second brain. Think of it in that way. So tummy issues wake the brain up, hence child waking up. So again, food allergies, tummy, waking up. Antibiotics, tummy problems, waking the baby up, or toddler or child. So this is what I do with these children. We have the cranial osteopathy to start calming the nervous system down. Think of cranial osteopathy as it's super gentle, but think of it for yourself as like having a nice massage. You feel really relaxed and sleepy afterwards, and then maybe you go back to work and you kind of wake up. But with a child, it can remain calming for them. And then look at foods, possibly milk, and if you can cut that back down a bit, that'll help their tummy, then they won't wake up. If they've had loads of antibiotics, then you need to repair the gut from the antibiotics, and for that you use probiotics. And I've mentioned lots of times before, BioGuide Protectus is one of the companies that I use, and another one I use is OptiBac. They're great. OptiBac one a day for the children as well. But you can leave a comment on here and I'll try and help you out. So Toddlers aren't sleeping, young children aren't sleeping, often traumatic delivery, which cranial osteopathy can help, some sort of food allergy, particularly dairy, and lots of antibiotic use. So does that sound like your child? If it does, obviously every child's different. If it does, there's 3 ways that you can help them sleep. Okay, I hope it helps, and I hope your toddler is sleeping.